Hello everyone, it's Kay here and I'm back again to share with you some little makes from the In Love Arts collaboration that I'm currently doing. And it is at this point that I need to remind anyone that is interested in going to shop at the store that I don't think I mentioned how much of a discount last time. It's 15%, which is not a bad little number at all when you consider that their prices are very, very reasonable, especially for dies and stamps. Well, you may remember that I had the dual paper and vellum pad, I had the vellum stickers, I had this gorgeous little box here, and this set of layered dies here, and this little grouping of stamps, which I couldn't quite remember ordering, but we won't go there. That's my problem, not In Love Arts, I have to say. Okay, so a little review on the actual products before I show you what I've made. The dies have cut beautifully. I can't fault them at all. Separating them is you do need some wire cutters or something of that nature, and you may well need a file just to get rid of any harsh sharp edges that are residual from the fact that all of the dies are actually together. I guess it's for packaging, I don't really know, but that is the only fault with them. Once you've got rid of that little joiner, if you like, then it's business as usual. They cut very, very well. The stitching is complete around all the edges, so you know, as far as a die goes, they do what you would expect them to do. The box detail is really, really lovely. Again, it cut really, really well. You've got this isn't stitch detail, but this kind of perforation around the top of the die that shows you where to fold to make up your little box. Again, I can't fault it. It cut really, really well. There were no issues with that. Getting the cut pieces out was not a problem. It all happened really, really nicely. There wasn't any struggle with that. The stamps, I've used a couple and tried them, and they stamp really, really well, and you'll see in a little while that the clarity of them is really very, very good, considering it is just an ordinary resin style, no, silicone style stamp with the little perforations on it. Considering they're so tiny, the detail you get from them is very, very good indeed. The stickers, having gone through the whole lot, there are several there that I wouldn't use, but having said that, it is to be used for all kinds of decorations in the house, walls, picture frames. You could make shadow boxes with them. For my personal use, it was the foliage that I really, really liked, so I may gift on some of the other little stickers. They are good, they do stick, and again they do what is on the packet. So really and truly, it's down to personal taste. I would have liked something a little bit more delicate, and I thought that there would have been more delicate pieces in it, but that is probably one of the smaller delicate stickers within the pack. But for the money, you know, you can't complain. So I've used a couple of those to let you see how they shape up on a project. They've anchored beautifully. It's not quite clear around the edges, but if you add other things to the project and disguise it a little bit, it's not something that, you know, you wouldn't use because of, if I put it that way. The papers have been very, very good. I've made them stretch the distance. I do have some left. I decided I didn't like this tag scenario here. I just didn't feel I would do very much with it. But again, that's a personal taste thing. You know, if you bought it kit and caboodle and decided that you were going to use every aspect of it, then it's a nice little 6x6 pad, and you will get a lot of mileage out of it depending on the kind of projects that you decide to do with it. So what I came up with to show you how well things worked were these paperclip embellishments. I've made 4 of them. Did I? Yes, I did. I'm not completely mental. I just feel like it sometimes. So I've made some little floral tributes out of a die already in my stash. I've used bits of the paper, as you can see, and then coordinated the little flowers and so on, so that it all just nestles together really, really nicely. And you know, I think you would be very proud of those were you to buy that die set. These are the not the smallest of the dies. There are 10, I think we said. 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah, about 10. I can't quite see them all here, but I've used not the tiniest one but the next 2 up to make them, and I'm really quite pleased with how they've come together. I've just cut out 2 so that I could sandwich the makings of the little embellishments between the cardstock. You know, it just makes it look a little bit better when they're finished. So that was those. Everything's sticking to me, I do apologise, it's so hot today, it's unbearable. And then I went on to make these 2 card toppers. You could actually use them as tags for gifts if that's what you wanted to do. And this again is not the largest, but it is the next 2 sizes down. I felt the large one would probably be better suited to a picture frame or something of that idea. I just wanted some little things that I could put together and use. So 3 little flowers down in the bottom corner. The sticker is behind, and you probably see what I mean about the tissue edge of the sticker showing, which is a bit disappointing, but it is what it is. And hopefully in looking at the embellishments you're not overly taken with the border of the sticker. This is another sticker here. As I say, it was the smaller stickers that I was interested in. So, you know, I've got my little projects using them, and I'm quite happy with how they came out. Adding the little words and so on does make a difference. Whichever way you look at it, it just makes it look a little bit more finished and a little bit more polished. But the dies themselves, I think, are a really attractive shape and lend themselves to this kind of thing very, very nicely. So that is the projects I made with the set of dies, and I don't think you can fault them really. Then I went on to use the stamps, and I've only used 2. One is the decorative wreath there, and then this tiny little flower here. And I went on to make some more little paperclip designs. They're all the same because you know me and my batch cooking. This is how I work. And I just stamped. You see the clarity, the detail on it is really very, very lovely. I just stamped the wreath around it first, then I stamped in the centre. I then cut out a couple of little butterflies and double layered them. This is the vellum card again from the pack, as I'm hoping you can see. And because it's got that little bit of gold on it, it does add a little something extra to the overall look. I did consider putting a little gem inside the stamped flower, but it's already quite busy with the butterfly, with the 2 sets of stamps and the ribbon. I thought that perhaps adding a gem to it would just be that little step that is a step too far in this case, because it is only a tiny little embellishment. But this is the standard of the stamps, and again I think it is a nice little stamp to use for this kind of project. And then the final project I did was to showcase this pocket, and I'm really very pleased with how this has come out. I've done another of the mini wallets, mini folders, file folders. I've used the beautiful foiled paper you can see here. It is absolutely gorgeous. I've kept the tab for the folder down at this end. This is the box die, and it folds up and becomes that size in actuality, which is not a small pocket. So that is 2.5, roughly speaking, by 3.25. So quite a nice, oh sorry, made the tripod jiggle. Quite a nice size for this kind of project. Clearly you could put it on the front of a card and have your sentiment coming out. I have put a matching tag on the inside, lined the front of the pocket, because once you've made it up you've got the plain area at the back, and the design on the front of the pocket wouldn't have shown if I hadn't put some card behind it on the front. The little tag is just another little bit. I managed to get the crocus onto the tag and a little bit of the lily of the valley, I think it is, running down the side. Put a little grommet in, so you could put a little message on here if you wanted to, or indeed stamp. It would be entirely up to you. The back is totally plain, but on the inside of the little file folder I've made a tag. Now I've just used a little bit of corrugated card here. I've used the vellum aspect of the paper, put a lovely little bit of gold trim across that to marry it all up, a double butterfly here, and again some vellum. It's a double layer or a triple layer. The smaller of the butterflies is 2 layer, then you've got a single layer of the larger butterfly, a tiny little flower here, a little bit of the pink ribbon at the top, and then a corrugated heart. Plain on the back, so again if you wanted to write a little message or attach something to the back, that would occur quite naturally, and you'd have a nice bit of space to work with. And then that just lives in that little file folder, and it makes the most lovely gift, I think. So, you know, I hope you've enjoyed seeing my products up close excuse me, and enjoyed seeing what I've done with them. I will leave the links and everything below this video, as I did on my introductory video, and all you have to do is click on the links for the products. That will take you directly to the shop, and there is a quote there then to use to claim your 15% discount. So I thank In Love Arts for giving me this opportunity to play with their products. It's been fun, and hope that you will pop along to the shop and just have a little look. There's no obligation to buy, obviously. It simply isn't like that. Just if you see something that pleases you, that's the place to find it. So with that, I'll say thank you very much for joining for this time. Happy crafting, everyone, and stay well. Bye bye for now.